Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Sunday Live Fantasy Football University Week 7. Thank you for everybody that's joining right now. We have a little bit of a technical difficulty on our TikTok channel, but we'll make it through today, and we'll continue to make it through. We appreciate everybody that drops your comments. Again, when you do ask your start-sit questions, please add if it's a full-point PPR, half-point PPR, or just a standard league. And then also with quarterbacks, if the quarterback, it's a 4 points per touchdown or 6 points per touchdown league, so we can accurately give you the right answers when it comes down to your start-sit questions. So let's get into it. Before we get into it, again, we truly appreciate everybody that takes the time to jump in and watch our content, whether it's live or our weekly updates and or our TikTok information. But 70% of our viewers are actually non-subscribers. So those of you that do watch our channel and our content and you guys enjoy it, please click the link and subscribe to our channel. We would truly appreciate it. Very interesting game. Nobody was really anticipating it, unless you're the Bengals fans over there. Quarterback, Ja'Marr Chase. Ja'Marr Chase had, I think, 16 receptions. Unbelievable week. Trade away targets are just full steam ahead. The last time I looked, they were winning 21-0. Let me just get an update real quick, and that update is still 21-0. Jaguars are not looking good at all. A lot of penalties on the Jaguar side. They're not really making good plays. I would definitely that we basically see a little bit more of an uptick in snaps the right way, and the ball's going in the right direction. I mean, there are being targets for Brian Thomas, but they're not the greatest targets. And also the other thing that I think before halftime was that Travis Hunter didn't play any snaps on defense, so that could be another reason why they're up 21-0. I'm not sure. I haven't really, I've been working on this podcast in this to get ready for this live event for a little bit. I really haven't seen much of a change. So hopefully something changes on that end, and the Jaguars start scoring some points to make it competitive. But yeah, just a reminder again, before I get into the inactive report, after we do the inactives, we'll talk about start-sit questions. So just make sure when you are asking those start-sit questions, again, to drop your point system. So if it's a half-point PPR, full-point PPR, standard league, if it is a 4 points per touchdown, 4 points per touchdown, 6 points per touchdown when it comes down to passing, add that, and we'll rectify it the right way. But let's get into the inactive report. So as of right now, first game on the slate, the 1 o'clock games, we have the Eagles and the Vikings. So on the Eagles side of the ball, A.J. Dillon is inactive. So he's been getting some snaps, when Barkley is not feeling it. So maybe Shipley pops off a little bit. Maybe Tank Dell. I forget his name over there anyway. Tank that got traded from the Jacksonville Jaguars gets a little bit more of a run over there. So maybe Tank gets a little bit of some breather room for Barkley. On the Minnesota Vikings side of the ball, J.J. McCarthy is inactive, so Carson Wentz, this is a revenge game. Revenge game for Carson Wentz against his Philadelphia Eagles. Love the narrative. And everything else on the defensive side of the ball, you got Andrew Van Ginkel is out, but there's really nothing else that's starter that you'd feel uneased about. Van Ginkel has been a really good person that basically is really good in pass protection. He also is a very, very good run stopper as well too. I think this could be a nice day for Saquon Barkley if used appropriately. Then let's get on to the next game with the Raiders and the Chiefs. This is going to be a bloodbath. The Raiders are going to lose by a lot. Brock Bowers is inactive. Jacoby Myers is inactive as well, too. Now, I think this is a Jacoby Myers. We need to keep him healthy because we're going to start trading some of our players kind of ordeal. So I'd be on the lookout for that. Jacoby Myers most likely is going to find his way on another roster. So I think that's why they are not playing him today. Or maybe a deal's in the works and, they just can't get him out there because they can't risk the injury. On the Kansas City side of the ball, everybody's out there. And our boy, Rashee Rice, is back in action. So anticipate a nice day over there. Then let's get into the next slate of games. The next 3 games we're going to talk about. The weather pattern is really weird and bad in these 3 stadiums. So right now, the Dolphins and the Browns game, it's basically slated for 17 plus mile an hour winds and showers. So Tua has not been playing well throwing the ball. I don't think 17 mile an hour winds is going to make him throw the ball better. Now, if they're swirling winds, this is going to be a really rough game. Through the air. So I think on both sides of the ball, you're starting your running backs, and you're probably starting your defense of the Cleveland Browns. This is going to be a tough one. We had to make a decision on our high-stakes league that we are not playing Jalen Waddle this week. He could have a big play for 80 yards and a touchdown. We're just not taking the risk. We'll play better values, better opportunities out there. That have more of a ceiling, than the floor that's being created. So an active report with the Miami Dolphins. Matthew Judon is out on the defensive side of the ball. Zach Wilson, it doesn't matter there. I mean, he's a QB2. He could find his way into this game, but it probably wouldn't have been too good anyway. Cedric Wilson is out. Tajay Washington, wide receiver, is out as well too, and then really nothing else. On the defensive side of the ball, that's crazy. That would be, hurtful for that offense or that defense. The Cleveland Browns on that side, David Njoku has been declared as inactive, so he is out. So, Fannin could be catching some short targets. It could be a good opportunity if you're in a full-point PPR system or even in a bonus system for your tight ends. He might be a good start. But again, with the wind and all that fun stuff, I probably would stay away from the passing game as much as I could. The Panthers, the next slate of games, the Panthers and the Jets. This is another game that, they're calling for 13 plus mile an hour winds with rain in the Meadowlands, New York. So at the New York Giants Stadium, the New York Jets, are paying their rent over there. But sorry, Billy. The Carolina Panthers, basically on that side of the ball, Hunter Renfrow is inactive. But again, you're getting back Jalen Coker, so he's back in the lineup. And it's looking like Chuba Hubbard is back. So I honestly think that they're going to ease Chuba Hubbard back. It could be a 70-30 split with Dowdle to Chuba. I don't think they really need to rush Chuba back. He may get some goal line touches here and there, but I think it's a safe play to continue to play Dowdle. I don't think he's going to have a problem. Jets side of the ball, you got Garrett Wilson has been declared out, so really your first reception guy is going to be Mason Taylor over there, and then you have your C's and D's catching the ball over there. So it's going to be a rough day. Maybe. This should be a bounce back game for Fields, but I'd feel really comfortable playing Fields if he's if you're anticipating him running a lot, which it could be the case because with the weather like that, I don't really trust Fields throwing the ball all too much. And then that's really pretty much it. You got Michael Carter the second that is out. He's a safety on the defensive side, but again, that defense has been really rough this year so far, so I wouldn't anticipate anything crazy there. Then again, the next slate of the games, we have the New England Patriots going against the Tennessee Titans. This is a revenge game, a coaching revenge game over here. I anticipate the New England Patriots to smack all day long against the Tennessee Titans. This game is supposed to be 17-mile-an-hour winds with thunderstorms as well, too. So, there could be a slight delay, some not postponing, but I would probably say some delays, potentially, like we saw I think it was week 1 in Jacksonville. So New England and Tennessee, nothing crazy. Nobody really significant on the New England side of the ball that's inactive this week. Then on the Tennessee Titans side of the ball, you got Calvin Ridley that's out with the hamstring, so that's going to be a tough sailing right there. He's been having some decent games, but again with the injuries, and they're not winning the game. I don't really think they're going to win another game for the rest of the year. He should be a trade away target when it comes down to the NFL. Not he should be a drop candidate in fantasy, but a trade away candidate in the NFL. So we'll see where he ends up. But again, that's going to be a rough game. I anticipate the running backs to have a really big day on New England side and the defense to have a fantastic day. The next game, we got the Saints and the Bears. No inactives on the New Orleans Saints side at all. Nothing right now. Now, that could change in the next 15, 20 minutes, but nothing has been updated as of yet. On the Chicago Bears side of the ball, nothing crazy outside of Cairo Santos is out, their kicker, and that is it. Grady Jarrett is out on the defensive side, but, there's nothing else significant that I would probably say, hey, we need to really watch out for this game. I think it's going to be that should be a nice, fun game as well, too. Some points being scored. So we'll see what happens over there. But New Orleans has been, pretty competitive. Even though they're losing games, they've been pretty competitive through the year. Let's move on to the Colts and the Chargers. As of right now, on the Chargers side of the ball, nobody has inactives. This is the first 4 o'clock game that's being so basically within the next hour, 2 hours, you might start seeing some stuff. But on the inactives on the Indianapolis side of the ball, you have you have Ashton Doolin is out, Josh Downs is out, Tyler Goodson is out, the backup running back, and then Charvarius Ward is out. He's a cornerback for the Indianapolis Colts. Then let's move on to the Giants and the Broncos game at 4:05. It's weird to see the Giants being a 4:05 game, but they are in Denver. The Giants, basically, for the Giants side of the ball, you got Darius Slayton that's inactive. So, for a battered wide receiver room, you got another wide receiver that's out. So hopefully the Giants, if they win this game, I don't anticipate them to win this game, but if they do win this game, they really need to start making a move for a wide receiver, to be a little bit more competitive out there. And then, then basically, DFF is out. He's a linebacker for the Giants, so Flanagan fouls. And then basically on the defensive side of the ball for the Denver Broncos, there's no offensive players that are inactive as of right now, but Jonah Ellis is out. He's the linebacker for the Denver Broncos. Let's move on to the most interesting and the most fun game of the year right now. Just kidding. It's probably not going to be that great because 2 of their star receivers are out, and that's the Washington Commanders versus the Dallas Cowboys. Debo and McLaurin are out. So, it's going to be a crapshoot over there, I think. But I think the most attractive ad and the most attractive play is Mr. Moore over there. He was getting his targets last week. So I probably would lean towards Moore being an opportunity against basically the Dallas defense, especially Trayvon Diggs is out. So that's a downgrade to a downgraded defense. So I think there could be a lot of points scored through the air, and you're going to get a lot of B, C, and D wide receivers basically catching the ball for the Washington Commanders. On top of that, basically you got CeeDee Lamb that's back, so that's going to be a high-flying Dallas offense. So they're going to hit the ground running, and Washington's going to have to play catch-up. It's just going to depend on what defense wants to stand up at the end of the game. Hopefully this is not another tie event. Dallas Cowboys have been a recipient, have been really good at tying games this year. Let's go to another tied game this year. Just kidding. The The other team basically is the Green Bay Packers, and then they're going against the Arizona Cardinals at 425. On the Green Bay Packers side, Christian Watson is still out, so I think he may be coming back next week or the following week. But Christian Watson is out again. On the Arizona Cardinals side of it, DeMarcado is out. Oh, it's very interesting what's going on with DeMarcado. Fumbles the ball, coach gets pissed off at him, he gets fined, and now DeMarcado is just nowhere to be found. So very interesting what's happening over there. But again, I'm probably not really leaning to playing anybody offensively outside of McBride and Harrison for the Arizona Cardinals. The running back room is probably not something I want to touch with a 10-foot pole, right now, especially with Green Bay. Green Bay's defense is back on the uptick, so I think they're going to play well this week. All right, so we got Atlanta Falcons and the San Francisco 49ers. This is the Sunday night football game, so it's tonight's game. On the San Francisco side, Fred Warner is out, Brock Purdy is out, and Ricky Pearsall is out. On the Atlanta side of the ball, you have a couple defensive players, but then the only offensive player right now is Ray McCloud. He's out. I wouldn't really feel too crazy about some of the other players that are out. You got Jalen Walker that's out, linebacker, but I don't think, I think this should be a decent game tonight. Should be a fun one to watch. Mac Jones has been playing very well, especially being injured. All right, so on the Buccaneers and the Lions game, we have inactive. This is the first Monday Night Football game. Thank you, NFL, for having 2 Monday Night Football games yet again, and one being 10 o'clock Eastern Standing Time. It's not, it's really not ideal for us, Eastern Standing Time people out here. But, hey, we'll wake up and see who wins that game. Buccaneers and the Lions, you got Chris Godwin is declared inactive. Bucky Irving is declared inactive. Emeka Egbuka may be inactive. It's going to be potentially a game-time decision. That's what it's calling for right now. So he may be a game-time decision. And it looks like Mike Evans is back. So, Mike Evans, I'd fire him up here. And one of those Johnsons. You want to start one of those Johnsons, start one of those Johnsons. And, and Otten could be a decent start. They're going to need it against Detroit. Detroit has still that high-flying offense, so I anticipate Detroit to bounce back from they did last week and the week before. Detroit, basically nobody offensively that is significant to your fantasy lineup is out, or defensively is out as well too. On the Texans and the Seahawks game, this 10 o'clock game, Christian Kirk is inactive. And on the Seattle game side of the ball, Derek Hall, who is a defensive end, is inactive as well too. That's pretty much it right there with the inactive report. If anything significant pops up, we will inform you as the day goes on. But we'll get into the start-sit questions. I do have a couple start-sit questions that are lined up here from some people, and then obviously on the other chats that basically showing. But again, if you want to add some of your start-sit questions, please, ask if you're asking for if it's a running back, wide receiver, pass catcher, whatever it is. If it's a full-point PPR, half-point PPR, standard league. If it's a quarterback, if it's a 4-point or 6-point per passing touchdown league. So make sure you add those questions to the chat. All right, so let's get into it. You got. Basically, the first question I have asked here is Luke McCaffrey or Chris Moore. Well, those two guys are on the same team. So I assume that this is a pickup option, and it is a full-point PPR. So I would go this week, based on last week's production, I would go Chris Moore over Luke McCaffrey. I think Luke McCaffrey is still going to be the recipient of basically special teams, and then also making his way into the passing game. But I think Chris Moore is going to be the vital vocal point of this offense, especially with that battered defense that he's going against. So I'd go there. Chris Moore would be my start. Next question is Jordan Mason or Rico Dowdle, half-point PPR. So I would go Rico Dowdle in this one. Jordan Mason is probably going to see a touchdown here, but I think Rico Dowdle is going to see more production and more opportunities, especially going against the Jets in a bad environment when it comes down to weather. So I'd go Rico Dowdle there. All right, next question is Mason Taylor or Cade Otton, and this is a bonus, so you get an extra half a point per reception, so it's 1.5 per reception for tight ends. So here, I would probably go Mason Taylor, even though I'm not liking the weather. They're going to have to try to throw the ball somewhat. So I think Mason Taylor is going to be the highest recipient of receptions this week. So I'd go with Mason Taylor there over Cade Otton. There's a lot of volume. There's a lot of still, even with the Johnsons out there in the Buccaneers, on the Buccaneers, Cade Otton still can have some good opportunity, but I think Mason Taylor comes away with the better week. All right, next question is full point PPR, Rico Dowdle or Kiami Vidal. Yeah, I'm still going Rico Dowdle. I think Vidal has a setback this week. I think Haskins has a better week than Vidal. Not saying by much, but I think Rico Dowdle still has the better week based on his his performance with that offense. All right. So the next question here is Jake Ferguson or George Kittle. I'm going George Kittle here. He has been declared to not have a snap count, so I feel better about that. And obviously with CeeDee Lamb coming back, it's going to cut into Ferguson's receptions and targets. So I would go George Kittle here. I think he's going to have at least anywhere from 9 to 11 targets. At least this week, especially against this defense. You know, the Falcons defense has been playing well, and I think that they may be playing slightly from behind in this game. So I'd go George Kittle. Okay, next question is Bam Knight or Michael Carter. All right, well, another one right here. I probably wouldn't play any of them. I'm sorry. I probably would not play any of these guys that are going against the Packers defense, but if I had to play one of them, I probably would still go Michael Carter. They're getting the same amount of snap percentage, snap count. I think Michael Carter is the better play, especially if you're going against a really tough defense. So Michael Carter is the play here for me. Jameis Williams or Marvin Harrison, full point PPR. So in this one, I'd go Marvin Harrison. He's been declared healthy. I anticipate Jameson Williams to have some production, but not the same kind of target range that he had last week. He may have 2 targets for 1 reception and, 20 yards and a touchdown. Whereas I think Marvin Harrison, how Brissett was throwing the ball, I think Marvin Harrison has a better chance to be productive this week. So, with him being healthy, I would still go Marvin Harrison. There's a couple more questions here. Not seeing anything pop up more on the chats. Let me just double check real quick. Let's see here. Yep, nothing else added there. So the next question is George Kittle or Tyler Warren. So another George Kittle question. I think Tyler Warren has an opportunity to score. Score a touchdown and to get, a couple more better targets for greater yardage. So in this play, this is where I'd play Tyler Warren over George Kittle. Next question here is, Travis Etienne. Oh, this is a late question. So Travis Etienne or Kiami Vidal. Well, if I was to answer this question before, I would still say Travis Etienne. Hopefully, if you started Travis Etienne, let's see how he's doing right now. Let me see real quick. Travis Etienne probably is. He wasn't doing too hot a couple minutes ago when I was watching that game. So Travis Etienne right now is 5 carries, 17 yards, 1 reception for 11 yards. That's tough. So hopefully, when you did realize that this game started, so I would assume that you may have made the decision. Excuse me. where you're playing Kaimi Vidal over Travis Etienne, but most likely you have Travis Etienne in there. So I don't know what's happening. That game was at 9:30. It started at 9:30. So I don't know what you decided, or realized that Travis Etienne's in there. So if you had Travis Etienne out, just make the comment and just let me know if you actually started Vidal over Etienne. Next question is Cade Otton or Michael Mayer. I go Michael Mayer here with Brock Bowers being out, and also the law firm of Jacoby Myers being out. They're going to have to throw the ball. I mean, they're going to be playing the Chiefs defense in Kansas City. So I think Michael Mayer is an opportunity, but again, it's not great. All right, so Daniel Jones or Bo Nix, 4 points per touchdown. I go Daniel Jones here. He has a better matchup, I believe, and also Bo Nix, hasn't been playing fantastic this year. And he's also going against the Giants defense at home. So maybe he could have a decent game, but again, I don't see it happening. All right, I have one more question here, and I'm just going to check the chats again, see if anything else is popping up. So nothing is popping up. So I'll go to the last question, and then we'll just close up. So I got Quentin Johnston or Tet McMillan. I assume it's leaning towards Johnston is going to play. In this game, I'm not liking the weather on the Carolina side of the ball for passing. But again, they're going to pass the ball, and I think Tet will have more of an opportunity to catch the ball potentially in the end zone. I don't anticipate him having the same week that he had last week, but there is some chemistry brewing there. So hopefully the weather dissipates slightly throughout the rest of the game after Rico Dowdle blasts through everybody. And I'd probably go McMillan here. So Tet McMillan over Quentin Johnson. All right. That's everything. We appreciate everybody that took the time to jump into the chat. And obviously the viewers, unfortunately, we weren't able to get onto TikTok this week. I don't know what's going on with Streamlabs, but I'm going to have another conversation over there. But yeah, if you can please subscribe, our channel, like this video. We truly appreciate everybody that takes the time to watch the videos and to drop the comments. And we will be dropping 2 more videos this week, Tuesdays and Thursday. And we're ready to go. Enjoy your football Sunday, and have